Good afternoon and welcome to the OOH-RAH Report. I am your host, Anthony Keverett, and today we are talking about AEW Dynamite, and we are about, I would say, 2 weeks away from Beach Bash, and I gotta say, this has to be one of the best shows of Dynamite I have seen all year. And I'm not saying that because, I've seen literally the worst episode of Raw earlier this week. Go check out my Raw review for that one. But, this show was hot from the get-go. Show opens up with a birthday celebration for -1 of the Dark Order, the son of Brody Lee, who is now basically, I want to say, taken over the Dark Order, which I kind of like. And, when I heard that he was going to get a contract, it wasn't this that I had in mind, but I was very happy that this is what they're doing. And this goes directly into a match between the Hybrid 2 and Chaos Project taking on the Dark Order with Hangman Page. And the big story of this is that Hangman said he was going to make the announcement if he would join the Dark Order, and they win the match. Of course, the Dark Order win the match, and they do this whole song and dance where it's like, they're gonna pop the question, and he gets on a knee, and it's just, John Silver gets on a knee. It's so good, and then Adam goes, "No, I can't. I did this whole team thing before, and it didn't work out for me last time." He's alluding to the Elite when that whole thing happened. And he says no, and then the best part is there's confetti and everything, and they have the Titantron to say, "Oh," and he said yes, and it's just it's so fucking funny, and I love it. And I think that I don't think this is the end of this. I think that Paige will join the Dark Order at some point, but this was a really fun way to kick off the show, and the match is good in general. The whole match is good. Chaos Project. Luther gets his comeuppance. He gets thrown into the cake at the end of it because, of course, there's a cake in wrestling. It's like the wedding trope in wrestling. Something bad's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. But overall, great match, and I'm interested to see where the storyline goes. And it was just the right amount of goofiness to kick off the show properly. So after a few segments, we get the next big one, which is Darby Allin and Sting finally confronting one another and explaining what their whole thing is. What is Sting? Well, why is he here, and why is he with Darby, and what does this mean for Taz? And Sting goes on and on about how he sees himself in him, and I'm just happy. This whole segment salvaged the whole Sting, Taz, Darby storyline. For me, only because it actually answers a lot of questions. Now we know why Sting is with Darby, and we know where the feud's gonna go now with Taz. Taz does interrupt through this and basically challenges Darby to a street fight against one of the members of Team Taz, if not all of them. So I'm interested now to see where this goes. They were able, I've been saying over the last few Dynamite reviews that I didn't like this storyline because I felt like it dragged. And I think now we're finally getting into that second gear, and it actually is making me feel happy that we're going to probably get this payoff at Beach Bash, because they're already stacking up that card. We get a few more matches announced at the end of the night, and I'm very excited for it, and I'll get into why later. But they're really doing a good job now building up that storyline, and I was afraid it was going to drag, but now I'm happy that it is not going to drag. So then after that, we get a few more developments between Kenny and the Bucks, which this is throughout the whole night that you get this, and it just really excites me about this storyline. And this is the best storyline on Dynamite, in my opinion. Kenny being the bad guy, Don Callis being, the invisible hand, as he likes to call himself. And we all could tell what that means. But you look at it, and it's a really good, storytelling. The Good Brothers are coming into AEW, and we get some back and forth with that. We're starting to see things shift. And I'm really excited to see. You're going to get the Good Brothers versus the Bucks at some point, I think. Which I do think will happen later on. But not only do you get that, you get a few more matches for the Good Brothers. And, Kenny is going to probably just bring everybody in. And you will get all, 5 of them being the Bullet Club. And I'm waiting for that moment. I feel like this is going to turn into Impact and versus AEW to the Bullet Club versus the best of AEW versus the best of Impact. And I think if you can do that properly, you can build for the next 2 years of this storyline, and it will be good. And AEW has proven that they can do long-term storytelling well, and I'm excited if this is the route that they are going. And, that was great. And then the next match, you show what's not so great. This is probably the only hiccup on the whole show. And it is Cody taking on Peter Avalon. Good match. Cody wins. But once again, it's the Shaq storyline. And I hate it because I don't think there needs to be... I really hope that this is going to come to an end soon. And they do say that next week Shaq will confront Cody on Dynamite, which makes me happy that maybe we will actually get a finish to this, this feud, if you will. But I still don't like the fact that you're bringing in Shaq to AEW. It just makes no sense to me. Especially if you want him to have a match. I think Shaq's days to get in the ring ended years ago. We were looking at 2012 for the last time I think it was a possibility. But now you don't have that. But I hopefully do think that this storyline will come to a peaceful end because that's the only hiccup I think I have on the show is that this storyline still sucks chunks to me. So after that, we get Moxley, and he's in a really good match against Nick Kimura, and this dude is jacked. But at the end of the day, it's Moxley doing Moxley shit, and it's a barn burner. It's a really good match, and both men do well. But at the end, it's Moxley doing Moxley things, and he gets the win. And at the end of it, he basically goes on a long rambling promo. He's like, I've been out for a few weeks. I don't know what's going on. I don't give a shit about Impact. I don't give a shit about what do they want. I'm coming after Omega. You took my belt. I'm coming after you. And at the end of the night, literally, they don't even formally announce this. They show this in a graphic at the bottom. Based on what happens, they believe right after that, or 2 segments after, there's a confrontation between the Good Brothers and Omega and Lucha Bros. And setting up for Beach Bash, or I'm phrasing it wrong. Let me see if I have this right, because I keep getting this wrong. Beach Break, not Beach Bash, because that's what they used to call it. They did bash the beach, but Beach Break, you will have the Lucha Brothers and Moxley taking on the Good Brothers and Omega. That right there could be match of the year. That could be a 5-star match, and I'm so ready for it. But yeah, I'm just ready for that. So yeah, Moxley says he does not care whose ass he has to kick. He will beat up Omega, and I'm waiting for it. So then after that, we get more good stuff from Omega and the Bucks, and then we get a really good match between Matt Sydal and Top Flight and Matt Hardy, and the Impact #1 contenders for the tag titles, Private Party. Which I didn't watch Impact. I do not watch Impact. It's on, Access TV, and to be honest, there's not enough for me to really dissect there. But when I saw that Private Party won the #1 contendership for the tag titles, it made me extremely happy because now this is the part of the whole AEW Impact storyline where more guys than just Omega are gonna cross over, and I'm excited for that. Because now we're going to start building to that invasion angle, which I think will blow off won't blow off, or our next big step will be taken at the next Impact show. Because they already planned that out, and they have, in the logo of the thing is Omega's logo. So I'm the Omega symbol. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. And the fact that Private Party is the #1 contenders for the Good Brothers titles makes me ecstatic. Because then, if they lose, they can go after the Bucks. If they win, then Private Party gets another wrinkle with Matt Hardy, and that's how that goes. So that intrigues me. And the match itself between Private Party, Matt Sydal, and Top Flight is phenomenal. Tag team wrestling has been a staple at AEW, and this just shows it. And it's so good. And after a quick match between Penelope Ford, which basically sets up Orange Cassidy and that whole thing going into Beach Break, and that excites me. They did a really good job showing you what's going to happen at Beach Break, and you look forward to it. It's like building up a pay-per-view. They even announced that there will be a massive battle royal to determine a tag team battle royal to determine the #1 contenders at Revolution, which is 2 weeks later. And AEW has come out and said they're not adding more shows, more pay-per-views. You are getting a big 4, which is All Out, Revolution, and the 2 others. They slipped my name. I know it's Revolution, Full Gear, it's Revolution, Full Gear, All Out. And if you guys can remember the other one, because I'm drawing a blank here, leave it in the comment section below. But the fact they are doing just 4 makes me very happy, and they are going to continue doing these big Dynamite episodes where it's just a themed show where they put on a lot of good matches, which we are seeing with Beach Break, and we saw Winter is Coming. Like those excite me. I think that's really the way to go with wrestling in the COVID era. So I think that's great. So after another fun segment with Omega, and this is the segment where they beat up the Lucha Brothers. So you're not only setting up Private Party versus the Good Brothers, which should be great. You are also setting up the Good Brothers versus the Lucha Brothers, which should be phenomenal. And then on top of that, you can also set up the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks, which my body is ready for all that good tag team shit. Just really good tag team shit coming out of AEW, and it makes me ecstatic. So after that, they do something that makes me even more happy. A women's tournament for the number one contendership. Yes. Just yes. Because here's the thing. Go back and watch any of my Dynamite reviews since I started this channel. My biggest gripe with the women's division is they haven't taken the time to build up stars. And the way that they did this, because they only show you one graphic. It's a single graphic to show you that this is coming soon. And it is the United States and Japan. So if they do this right, you're going to have all the women from Japan who are on the AEW roster, all the judo stars, going up against each other in probably until the final. And then you have all the women in the US going up until the final. And to me, this is a great way to build up stars. And, I can guarantee you that if somebody's watching this from AEW, thank you, because this is exactly what we need. This is the perfect opportunity to build stars for your company, especially in that women's division, which has been so lacking since COVID started, and you haven't had the chance to build up any stars from North America. You now have that great opportunity. You are seizing it, and please don't screw this up. I am excited for this, and I am ready for this, and I am so just happy that you've finally taken the opportunity to show that to build up your women's division, because that's what this tournament's doing, is building up your women's division. And after that, which is our main event, it is the Inner Circle Turmoil Tag Match, which is basically all the members of the Inner Circle, except Wardlow for some reason, will go in a tag match. You can tag in anybody, and at the end of the night, one team will be the official tag team of the Inner Circle and will probably get a title match against the Young Bucks at some point. And great match. All fucking 6 of these guys can go, and it's great. They all have great chemistry. And at the end, of course, Sammy Guevara gets rolled up by MJF, and MJF and Jericho win as they cut to black and go off the air. And yeah, that was a great fast-paced match. I guess it went a little long because I immediately had to cut out, which is always fun. But overall, yeah, this was a really good episode of Dynamite, and I think it does a lot well. I can't really think of any major hiccups besides maybe the Cody segment, and even that, the match was good. They kept it short, and they basically said to you that next week Shaq's on the show, so they'll figure that out. So it wasn't even necessarily that bad, but overall, the matches were great, and the storylines progressed well. And to me, that's great. And you built up a really good show. Like, in 2 weeks, Beach Break is going to be it's going to be one, I think it could be their best show of the year. And that's to top Winter is Coming. That's to top the Brody Lee Memorial Show, which I think right now is the best show of Dynamite that you had all year. But I think you're really setting up this next big show as a pay-per-view level event. And it is so good. Like, and I hate when I've gotten people to tell me that, you're an AEW fanboy, because all I do is crap on Raw and SmackDown every week. And I don't believe that. I've tried to find the good in Raw and SmackDown, and I do, and I think I do my best to be not biased on each show that I review. But, I compared this episode of Dynamite to Raw, and Raw is building up to their second biggest show of the year, and is a chore to get through. Every second of this show, I was invested. Every second of the show, I was looking forward to what was coming next. And that was really good to me. And I'm very happy that this, I do have to say, this was one of, if not the best Dynamite of the year. But please, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this way that Dynamite's been building up to Beach Break is good? Do you think that this is going to be a really good show, or do you think it's going to fall flat? Do you think all these storylines are just going to be just dropped and that's going to be it? Or do you actually think, like I do, that this next show is going to be phenomenal? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit the like and subscribe button. They do go a long way. And I will see you all next time here on the OOH-RAH Report.